Shabbat Shalom, my friends. How are we supposed to deal with what's going on here in the United States? An elderly Jewish couple gets a Molotov cocktail thrown against them, and the week before, a couple is gunned down in Washington, D.C., coming out of a Jewish event. How must we respond? And this week's Parsha tells us something very interesting about two types of individuals in the community. A, the Sotah, and B, the Nazir. Sotah is a woman who's accused of adultery, of not being faithful to her husband, and then the individual who takes upon him or herself additional strictures to add holiness to their life. And Rashi, the great biblical commentator, explains the connection. What does one thing have to do with the next? Lamar lacha. They're juxtaposed one against the other to teach you shekol haroes sotah bil kilkuleha, that anyone who sees a Sotah, somebody in this degraded, who's been unfaithful, who's accused, I should say, of being unfaithful against her husband, Yazir atzmo min hayayin, should refrain from drinking wine. You know how we deal with a potentially negative situation in our lives? We add holiness. We don't dig ourselves deeper in a ditch of depression, of depravity, of feeling badly. We see something wrong, we add holiness. The Nazir is an individual who takes upon him or herself added strictures and restrictions in order to be able to increase, live as a holier person. When we see something awful like this happening to our brothers and sisters in the United States, besides crying out and besides pressing the government, the police to do more to protect Jews and to stand up for ourselves, we add holiness. We might have the tendency, once attacked, to say, I got to stay away, I got to tuck the Magen David in, take the yarmulke off. It's just the opposite. We go up in our holiness. We increase in our holiness. Somebody sees the Sotah in the degraded state, they become a Nazir. We see what's happening out there, we have to increase our involvement, increase our Judaism. I've been saying this since October 7th. I hope I don't sound like a broken record, but the best way to respond to anti-Semitism, to being attacked, is to increase your Jewish involvement. It's the greatest revenge we could have on our enemies. Imagine if, because of negative things happening to the Jewish community, we become stronger, we become more learned, we become more committed to our Torah and mitzvot. And it's not just doing it in spite or against our enemies. It's reminding ourselves what it is that we are protecting. Why is Judaism worth preserving? What is so important about staying Jewish? And we remind ourselves by further involving and further increasing in our commitment, in our Torah, in our mitzvot. And I cannot think of a greater way of showing honor to the memories of these two couples, one who is terribly injured and the others who lost their lives, than by being even more Jewish, even more proud of our Torah and our mitzvot, by taking on something more. Nothing could be more admirable in terms of response, besides, of course, first self-defense and protection, than by increasing in our Torah, in our mitzvot. And my bracha to all of us is, when we're feeling a little down and we're wondering what is going on and how we're going to deal with the situation, we have to deal with it, obviously, but this is one way of dealing with it, is to become more Jewish, more committed. And Be'ezrat Hashem, in the zechut, in the honor, and in the spiritual merit of additional mitzvot, additional Torah study, the couple who was killed should have an aliyat neshama. Their souls should be elevated. The other couple who was injured should have a refuah shlema. And in the zechut of our continued involvement in Torah and mitzvot, we should have additional protection and additional spiritual strength. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, please like and subscribe so we can get these really important videos out to a larger audience. Thank you.